everybody? My name is Ito, and I am happy to bring you another match of ESEA Advanced Season 33 between Third Impact and Supernova. And, all things considered, Supernova, they've done really well. This is going to be their last match of the season, and honestly, heading into the season, I wasn't really sure what to expect from a roster like this, but they are doing just fine. Have already secured their playoff spot, just trying to close things out in style, and it's a relatively similar story for Third Impact. And Third Impact, if you follow the scene closely, you can know that they were pretty huge overdogs actually heading into this season as well. One of the favorites to win it all. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing for them. They've already found 3 losses, and sure they have 9 wins. They're still doing incredible, but they were the kind of team that I, for a while, actually expected to go completely undefeated. So the fact that they're already seeing their, boat get rocked means that they might be in for a bit of a rough playoffs kind of session, and maybe upsets will be abound. Either way, it's way too early to tell. There's still 4 more games for Third Impact to play just to finish off this regular season before we even head into playoffs in the first place. And it all starts with a pistol, as I like to say. AGM is absolutely crazy, incredible at the pistols here, so I want to see if he can try popping off in the same way that I've come to know him for doing. Peek down mid. Oh, check that out. Dolphy nearly caught down AGM. A quick rotate over towards B. Smokes through. AGM is going to be able to find the first. And Dolphy with a nice trade through. Taking down AGM in question, but bomb and the site completely belongs to the terrorists at the moment here. They plant said bomb, and now the CT's coming in quick for the rotations. Quick 1-for-1 trades, but it's only going to be for so long. Douglas enters the picture, finds 3. An amazing flurry of kills, and Dolphy will be left to do it 1 versus 3 here. Kit is down, so he can try picking it up. Maybe try and make this happen. He finds 2. I have no clue how he found that second. The first one was alright. Second one was crazy. This third one would be absolutely insane, and indeed it is going to be. However, there's no Kit. There is going to be no time, so he can get all the kills that he likes. But that is all that he's going to be able to find. The round goes the way of Third Impact. But what a stellar way to start things off. A quad kill in the round. Kit retrieved at the very end of the day. And Supernova, they go down swinging, to say the very least. Again, though, at the end of the day, it is going to be a round on the board for Third Impact. It is a bloody affair, which means that Third Impact, despite buying into this one in a pretty healthy fashion, will be a little bit hard stuck if they end up falling and tripping in the second round. Early util comes through from the CTs, doesn't find much of anything. Light tag onto JoJo, but it's not going to really make that much of a difference. Only about 11 HP down. Quick contact play seems to be in order from Third Impact over towards Banana at least, so they're getting a lot of this default kind of map control Third Impact. Definitely the kind of way you want to play in anti-eco, and they have delivered on that. But choosing not to take these fights, wait out the utility, that counter smoke from Supernova is just going to try to ward them off for the time being. Burn a little bit of time off the clock if they possibly can. A frag would be almost secondary at this point. There's only so much you can do, but the full investment from Supernova seems to mean that they have very high hopes for making this work. Flash in from Dolphy, the double stack, although it's prepared to deal with one player, Dolphy still comes out on top of that duel versus JoJo, meaning that Dangerous, unable to trade things out, is just going to be left in awe, staring about what could have been. His teammates will rotate over, trying to stem the wound because it's already looking a little bit more promising from the CT side here. Another rotate has come through. Dolphy holds the line with a UMP. Nice little spray through, tags down AGM. Momo, who's on top of the flower pots, can't find anything, unfortunately. And that means that the site will belong to Third Impact yet again. But already decent damage done. It's not exactly decent just yet, but there is a lot of opportunity for Supernova to find some very promising exit frags. And, honestly, they might go straight up for this retake. It would be a bit risky to go for the retake, especially since they only have 1 defuse kit, and that's on the hand of Dolphy, who, Dolphy had a pretty insane round, but I don't think he can repeat history. And indeed, Third Impact seem to agree with me here. Only 1 other kill goes the way of the Supernova squad, as Third Impact will clean up the damage and make it a nice quick 2-0. an expected start. The pistol going the way of third impact almost 100% favors the terrorist side. That investment seemed to make sense as well. Because of that, Supernova, unable to find the results that they really want, will be opting for a nade stack this time around. Down mid and towards Banana. Third impact. Are they going to be ready for it? They are. Indeed, they are. Whoa, okay. They're not ready for that late grenade, though. Dangerous eats a bit of shrapnel. Talk about a wake-up call into this round. But, I mean, nade damage aside, this should be another clean one from third impact. They only dropped 2 against a much heavier buy, so against full pistols, the damage will probably be even less. Momo crossing over, manages to stay alive and spotted underneath the porch. Actually gets one. And now Momo's trying to enter the party as well with his USP, but he'll back up quickly, knows it's a fight that he can't realistically take. Flash towards top Banana will actually most likely net Supernova yet another kill. However, Jojo again goes down swinging. At 2 versus 3, Supernova actually have a decent chance at maybe making a little bit more work in this round. They're somehow delivering on these default pistols. The nade stack wasn't even the big caveat in this round to get them this far, but maybe they have a chance. Still solidly in favor of third impact despite that man disadvantage at their end just because of the post plant being so favorable for them. 2 MAC-10s picked up. The CTs will begin their response onto the A-bomb site. T. Connors tosses a flash, tosses a smoke through. Dangerous can't deal with the overwhelming presence of counter-terrorists on site here, but T. Connors will try to deal with it. Unfortunately, he's only able to do so much. That being said, it's a ton of damage at the end of the day. Supernova most definitely going to be happy with the results from that round. All the players going down at the end of the day, and Momo barely surviving with 3 points of health. I mean, if Supernova just decide to invest an extra $400 into a defuse kit, we could see that round going the way of the CTs. That's, I guess, one way to point out how close it was to just swinging the other way. So the pendulum will still be in favor of third impact. But Supernova look to strike right back. Now their first gun round in play. Early util. Full investment from both teams. See Momo's trying to save a little bit of the big bucks. Only using that saved Galil from last round. Good early damage onto Dangerous as well. Puts him down to 63. Contact play in the works again from third impact. This default has done them well so far, but I'm sure that the CT response to it can also be equally as scary. And while it's not as scary, it's crazy trades all the way down, but it does favor third impact. That's a B site cracked wide open. And the response from Supernova is going to be a bit delayed, but it's just in time because the Ts haven't quite pushed through. They're gathering up towards the top of Banana, and the CTs are trying to retake this bracket's control, which will do just fine. However, a flank coming in behind from the CT spawn is going to completely catch Shoker off guard, and that's a round done and dusted right there. The fact that they gave up CT basically means that there's no chance for Supernova to get back into this round, and most likely at this point will just be better off saving their weapons. Amazing heads-up play by Douglas. He was the player to watch heading into this game, and with a flank like that, an already pretty impressive KD, which could become even sweeter if you can just finish up that frag onto Shooterman 9000. He is getting off to a pretty incredible start. That flank through CT, I feel like I've seen that so many times recently. Oh, AGM. He's on the other side completely waiting in T-apps as a bomb is detonating. Is this kind of salt in the wound? Supernova, well, they give up their second gun. I guess Shooterman wasn't quite ready on the angle, and AGM will take that any day of the week. A free kill under his belt and a quick 4-0 start for third impact. So definitely the kind of start you want to see if you're a fan of third impact. They're the heavy hitters in this division for a reason. Getting off to a pretty formidable start. Now, Supernova, that gun round not working out for them, will be back onto pistols. And, I mean, although we saw the kind of damage that Supernova can cause with these upgraded pistols, I still don't exactly favor them versus third impact. It's kind of a fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. Wait, no. I got it wrong. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That sort of deal. But, I mean, they haven't even been fooled once, so maybe that nice little phrase of mine will get some mileage a bit later. But for now, third impact. They're off to a pretty hot start. That's what I'm trying to get across. They have yet to be fooled. And unfortunately re-peaks right back into the angle, and T. Connors is able to punish it. Now it's a 4-on-5. Shoker is trying to maybe gather up with his teammate to trade out T. Connors, who is not really budged much from that same angle that he assassinated Ange from. Gathering up over towards A. I mean, the third impact party just might meet their final destination over here. Two players gathered up over at balcony here, and both of them fall just as quickly. T. Connors, triple kill so far in the round. Well, might not even need to find any more, because the CTs, I'm not even sure if it's in their best interest to find more kills. I mean, or at least try to find more kills. Maybe saving the pistols is probably in their best interest. Dolphy and Momo, CZ and Deagle. Go ahead and just save over towards T-Apps. Not even the most aggressive of saving positions as well. Third impact. That's a nice shot from Dolphy, but he backs off quickly off the angle, and AGM will be there to replace his fallen comrade, and Douglas will close things out just as quickly. So another smooth start, another smooth sailing round in general. Really capped off by the fact that T. Connors was able to reign supreme over at the A-bomb site, over towards apartments in particular. That triple stack did not really catch him off guard. He was wise on the angles, and just was able to pad his stats as a result. 6-3 for him. Early Molly, early util yet again from Supernova, but it's the same story, different round for third impact. That same default that they've been doing, trying to get that brackets control. Indeed, they're going to be going for it yet again here. Douglas flashed up mid. Shooterman is as well, and he's actually trained on the angle, Shooterman. He was a player to watch from Supernova's side, and he's not going to be able to deliver in that same sort of flashy fashion that we saw from last time. And it's actually going to be JoJo to steal all the positive headlines as he finds a double entering into the A-bomb site. Now the response begins from Supernova. This is a very important round for them to at least make this economy work out for them. If they can win it, that would be huge, but it's not looking very favorable for them right now here. AGM unable to get the shot because his shadow showed. Momo is forced to back up, and I mean, yeah, that's going to be it for the round. 6-0 third impact. Oh man, they might not even have a lot to play with at the end of the day too. Dolphy is getting hunted down hard. T. Connors, I mean, the T's have the money to work with here. There's no reason why they shouldn't go for the exit kills. It would just make life tougher for Supernova, to be totally honest. And so third impact continue with their flawless streak. They have looked almost entirely uncontested so far this game. We saw a couple of close calls, that pistol round and the follow, well, not the follow-up, but the third round with the full default pistols. Those were the most promising, times for for Supernova to get themselves back into the game, but haven't really delivered on it so far. Another gun round, another force. Supernova having to spend a little bit of money just to stay alive, just to stay afloat on the CT side, and it's going to start taking a hit. Just like Shoker took a hit of that grenade. Oof, that's pretty rough. 42 already. He has a FAMAS alongside his teammate Ange. Otherwise, M4s and a single MP9 in Momo's hands. Not the most promising of full buys, but it has to be what they're going to work with for now. Banana control will be re-aggressed from the CTs, but they won't be quite gifted it in the same way. This default is working round after round for third impact. They have been completely uncontested, it feels like, over at brackets. And this won't be a changing of the seasons. Douglas will make contact with the first CT. That's Momo with the MP9. He just takes a little bit of a courtesy peek, but doesn't choose to take the fight just yet. Now consolidating over towards Banana will be two members of third impact here. They're checking their angles, but not well enough, apparently. 1-for-1 trade. Dolphy has a chance to swing this back into his team's favor, but it's going to be all for naught. Now the site is blown right open yet again. This B site has just been so malleable for the T side, but they don't even need it. Everyone around Shooterman falls, and it'll be up to him. He'll have to do it against 4. He's found the first on a refrag, but 3 more after this, especially with the advanced positions that the terrorists have. I mean, there's no chance for Shooterman to find anything. In fact, it might be in his best interest just to die before this. Actually, no, it doesn't really matter. It just would be in his best interest to try to find some kills on his way out. And wait, he's actually found a very decent amount of damage. He can actually deny the bomb play if he was feeling really interesting about it, but 1 second remains as the bomb goes down, and Shooterman will now have to go ahead, go for this very risky retake here. 2 players of Third Impact basically stacked right on top of each other. Shooterman definitely has a chance at making this work, but he's going to give up the ghost. Doesn't want to go for it. No kit means that he has no chance. And it's just going to be another depressing finish to a round. Supernova, that was another chance for them realistically to get back into it. I mean, Shooterman, I'm not sure how close to victory he realized he was, but Douglas barely scraping through that round, has 9 points of health. He could have easily gone down, and then it would have been an even scenario. Counter-Strike is a game of ifs, and that is one that it won't be explored, at least for this game. 0 to 7, Third Impact are absolutely firing off on all cylinders. They are looking hot on Inferno. Saying true to the map's name, I guess. And really, I mean, that same old setup has been very faithful for the T side so far. That brackets control. There's a little bit of a switch up if you see Shooterman situated in Boiler at the moment. I guess here they're expecting a little bit more alt-mid presence because of the sheer amount of terrorists, or counter-terrorists rather, who are dedicated to the cause, but no, it's just that same default. Actually, Third Impact, it's not the same default. They're playing a lot more passive than they were before. I'm not sure if they just have a incorrect read on what the economy of Supernova would be, but this is a different switch up now from Third Impact. It's a good start, but swiped right away by the fact that JoJo is able to boost up on top of his teammate's head and find a kill. And, I mean, every single time there's a trade coming through from Supernova, Third Impact are just able to come out on top. And this time, it's even more dominant than ever. AGM, T-Connors both finding kills onto Shoker and AGM, respectively. Or, onto Shoker and, Shooterman, excuse me. Momo will get one in retreat, but still 1 versus 3 even after that kill. And, I mean, it's another situation where you have to think it might be in Momo's best interest just to try to save the Krieg. That Krieg is incredible rifle. I mean, you can hear me rant about it all day long. Having it in the hands of one of the members of Supernova could maybe give them a little bit of a lifeline back into this half, because it's starting to run away from them now. Third Impact now officially winning the T side of Inferno is most definitely the kind of start that they want to improve their record in the season and really secure a high seed in playoffs. I think with the 9-3 record that they're at the moment, Third Impact has secured playoffs, but this is just to sweeten the deal up a bit, I suppose. Give yourselves a bit more of a favorable matchup. And they're off to a good start. I mean, how can you disagree with the results that you see right here? First pause comes through of the game, and surely this one is going to be from Supernova. They have a lot to talk about. Because that wasn't even that same default, and it still worked out just fine for Third Impact. I mean, usually their fundamentals have been getting that brackets control, slowly working it. There's been almost no aggressive presence over at mid. The only example of it that you really saw was Shooterman, who had the AWP situated in Boiler. But even he was just kind of a one-and-done sort of player. He wasn't able to find more than anything because the quick refrags, I mean, the refrags, I think, are just the most suffocating part of Third Impact's offense. Every single time you take down one, it's like this unbelievable chain of reactions. You take down one player, but there's 3 ready to replace them. Now aggressive plays will come in from Supernova. Now towards aggressive Banana. The smoke is not quite right for the CT, so Momo is able to reign supreme over JoJo. Looking for Dangerous as well, knows exactly where he's located, but Momo keeps his watching eye over at ramp as well, because he knows that when there's smoke, there's fire. Now Dolphy hides behind the half wall as Momo retreats over to the site. Scopes heard. Dolphy flashed out from his teammate, cannot find a kill. Quick response, now third impact. Just even things up yet again. However, there is a bit more damage done to third impact this time around. You see how AGM, Dangerous, and T. Connors are all about 70 HP per player. That puts him within that one-shot range of the M4, which I like to call out all the time. And maybe it can actually start paying off in dividends for Supernova here. Now Douglas joins a slightly lit up party as he's put onto 89. Not going to make a huge difference maybe, but it could pay dividends down the line. It's a kind of start that Supernova need. Getting that initial kill, although it was traded out, is surely a good start. Shoker will have to hold the line, and with the M4, he will not fail to deliver. He finds a double just like that. The triple is out of line, but Ange will quickly pick up the slack. And now AGM is the only barrier separating Supernova from their first round, and it will get quickly fallen. 1-8, Supernova finally arrive into the server. Bit of a late start, but it's a start nonetheless. That aggressive banana control seemed to be exactly what the doctor ordered. And although, I mean, again, although it was evened up into a 4 versus 4, that sight hold from Supernova onto A was incredible, and it managed to really hold down the line. It wasn't the most convincing of takes from third impact. Dry peaks over towards arch side, but nobody's perfect, I guess, right? Already a pretty formidable half for third impact, no matter how the rest of this goes. And it might not be that good. Jojo put onto 33 points of health. Not exactly feeling the best. He's been doing incredible in the game, though. 7-7. Sure, it's not showing up in the kill feed as, like, this crazy scoreboard topper, but he's been doing his job so solidly. I'm thinking about some of the double entries that he's found into some of these rounds to make it work out for third impact. Brackets controlling that same default yet again. It's a tired old joke, but Supernova always seem to be the punchline of it. Another man advantage for third impact, and they continue their streak of hot games, hot rounds. Douglas even finds one more before he dies. The refrags are always there from third impact, it seems, and the spray is a little bit shaky, but it doesn't matter for much. Third impact strike right back with a round of their own, and Ange another 1 versus 3 that he has to somehow overcome. And I feel like the fact that it's always down into 1 versus 3 really kind of speaks dividends about how third impact have been playing these rounds. Because again, it's pretty even Stevens up until third impact just slightly pull ahead by having a bit more of a favorable position over the remaining counter-terrorists. And because of that, they're able to take every single individual duel that they could possibly think of and just be totally comfortable taking the round from there. I think a good example of that would be how Douglas dealt with that. How he was late aggressive over at the porch side, and he just kind of peeked out. What was that? T. Connors? He just completely pre-aimed that player and removed him from the round. I thought he was going to be safe over towards Cold Box, but no. Apparently not. Nobody is safe when T. Connors is in the server. God. Imagine how depressing that must feel to be on the receiving end of. Like, Supernova, they're looking super gold Nova at the moment. I mean, it's kind of the easy joke to take, but it just kind of shows that how a team that has otherwise been doing fantastically in the season, a 10-5 record, can just be made to look like wimps when third impact enter. It's been a rough draw, to say the very least, for Supernova. And they're going to be right back to square one. Couple of rifles, SMGs forced up, but otherwise it's pretty minimal from Supernova. Fully investing, don't get me wrong, but not a promising investment. An aggressive util, an aggressive positioning from Supernova will net them the first kill of the round. For the first time in a while, it feels like. Actually, wait, no, the round number 9. First frag was in favor of Supernova, and that was a decent start. I mean, Sugarman will make it even more of a decent far as he finds a second. Third, not quite in his grasp. The refrag is there, though, from Shoker. Now all 3 players remaining from Supernova, excuse me, on the A site. They'll quickly shut down the fast approaching terrorists. And that was the first convincing round I've seen in a while from Supernova. I think it was really off the fact that, I mean, that was one of the least convincing rounds I've seen so far from Third Impact. I mean, there wasn't really a lot of substance to how Third Impact were playing that. They gave up the pick, tried to go quickly towards A, maybe to catch off rotations or something of the sort, and they just kind of ran into a firing range of CTs. And Momo will continue his streak of dominance over towards Banana. Shooterman with an uncharacteristically whiffed shot, hits the leg no scope, and Shoker can try to ease the pain a bit for the CTs, but again, those refrags always seem to be on top of the game. That means that Third Impact will overtake the A-bomb site, get the bomb down, and most likely put themselves on double digits. It's been a nice run of form for the Third Impact, to say the very least. It's another situation where it comes down to 1 versus 3 or 2 versus 3. Third Impact just really seem on their game when it comes to these refrags, and it's just so hard to stop, really. Post-plant positions, solid from Third Impact, so they don't even have to risk that much economical damage just to try to chase down these kills. In fact, they might not go for it whatsoever. The bomb is planted C-side, which means that they can all hide in pit. I was wondering why they're delaying getting the bomb down a little bit, and it's just so they can save all their money, all their rifles, and all the goods. A little bit of damage, but for the most part, Third Impact are healthy and will be able to continue their streak of dominance into round number 13. We're starting to approach the end of the half, and Supernova don't exactly have many rounds to their name, too, to name a few. But there's been a lot of close calls for Supernova at the same time. Again, look back to some of those rounds where they're on full pistols and manage to make a lot of it work. The other rounds have been aggressive banana control working out perfectly for Supernova. You see how Third Impact have responded to this. They're now playing over towards T-ramp relatively late into the round. I mean, sure, there's well over a minute 30, but they're not daring to peek it. They know how Momo has completely exposed them on that previously. And Supernova will respond in a way of their own, just going to go ahead and hold passively, give banana control practically to Third Impact, which they will gladly take. Again, I've had a couple of interviews, and I've heard a couple of interviews as well. I believe it was Kerrigan who said that banana is the most important part of Inferno. So seeing this duel go back and forth between the two teams is so interesting to me. It's been such a major artery to make or break some certain plays in this game so far, and this seems to be no exception. Third Impact having banana control, plus the brackets control from Third Impact, is such a telling sign of where they want to take this. All the players now consolidating over towards banana. And a conga line of terrorists is going to be greeting the 2 members of Supernova. A resmoke will come through. Surely a rotate will as well. Anchor positions for the remaining members of the CT side. Now playing close smoke here. Supernova could be in for a very tough challenge, because as soon as the smoke dissipates, there will be 4, soon 5 members of the terrorist side all waiting for them here. And Dolphy, despite being jump scared, will go through the fray nonetheless. Now rotates will have to happen quickly from the CT side. Momo tries to hold the line as much as he can. It's a 3 versus 3 as a bomb gets planted here. Soon to be even worse, because now JoJo, with his teammate right beside him, will be able to find one. AGM with another. This round is falling flat on its face. Shooterman in a 1-on-3 has absolutely no shot at making it happen. He realizes it, is starting to play more passive towards CT, spots the gun barrel of AGM, and chooses not to take the fight. He knows how risky that would be to take. Shooterman takes one a bit more passive, wins it no problem. But he's on borrowed time here, and God, JoJo is so damn good. This is how he said, it's not even that you have to show up in the server sometimes, like in the scoreboard rather. It's just that his presence is so overwhelming. Sure, JoJo died to a pretty nice shot from Shooterman, but that gave so much time for AGM to make a full rotate through banana, up mid, up towards arch side to completely demolish any hopes and dreams Shooterman and the rest of Supernova had of saving that weapon. I mean, it's just kind of a masterclass of Inferno at the moment from Third Impact. Sure, they've had a couple of hiccups, you know, with that A execute that they had that was really lopsided. But for the most part, they have been so comfortable in almost every situation they've been put in. Aggressive from Supernova, trying to hold top banana from any of the lurking Third Impact members. AGM will pick off one over at mid. That's on to Ange, who's lurking over towards Boiler. Now Boiler control will be seized from Third Impact. However, banana is where real action is happening at the moment here. One kill ends up going the way of Supernova, so they make it 4-on-4 here. However, Third Impact still have their fingers in both pies here and could easily find presence anywhere here. Another 1-for-1 trade this time is going to be working out a little bit more favorably for Supernova. Tracked right back into reality again. Momo and Douglas trade frags, and it's a 2-on-2. Bit of a chaotic round, but the pistols, I mean, that's what you have to be, a little bit chaotic sometimes. It's working out perfectly for them, and although they might have to give it up right here, Third Impact, as they storm the B-bomb, or as they storm the A-bomb site, excuse me, Supernova are not going to be present for the challenge, and it's going to be a 2-on-2. Post-plant, most likely round number 12 underway, or underneath their belt, I should say, for Third Impact. Post-plant begins, no kits. Makes this a very, very tough situation for them. 2 AKs in their hands, though. So it makes them a little bit more lethal, but at the same time, they're starting to believe that saving is their best option, and I can't disagree. Third Impact seem to be on their game at the moment. We've seen a lot of very dominant T-sides, one-sided T-sides from a lot of teams in ESEA Advanced. It's really the CT side where you see, you know, teams really show their prowess. Supernova, I mean, I think the scoreline is telling the overwhelming story that this has been a very lopsided half. But again, there has been some close calls. It's not all doom and gloom from Supernova. These past couple of rounds, yeah, it has been for the most part. But towards the start, I mean, there was some real promise. It's just completely dissipated in recent times, though. They're trying to desperately drag it back into their favor, and Momo will get things off to a good start. However, Douglas quickly responds back with a wallbang headshot onto Shoker, of all things. And now we're right back to square one. This time it's a 4-on-4. In fact, it favors the T's just because they can split this defense so healthily from the CTs and force a counter us out with a position. I don't know how Shooterman actually managed to get out of that one alive, but he better be counting his lucky stars, because he surely won't be given that opportunity again. Maybe he will, though. It's actually AGM to go in for seconds. He eats a ton of shrapnel, but for the trade of 1 kill, it's a trade I would take any day of the week, really. 3-on-3. Shooterman tosses down a Molotov over on the bomb, which has dropped over towards the arch side. Now smoke comes through right behind it. Shooterman still holding the line as rotates desperately come through. You see how Momo's going for a long flank. AGM is going to be perfectly trained on the angle, able to take him down. Now Shooterman is the last hope and dream for Supernova, not only in this round, but in this half. Ange, maybe it's his time for him to shine, because I thought he was going to be the last one left standing. Or, excuse me, I always thought he was going to be the last one left standing. He's been incredible in these clutch scenarios in the past. I just want to see if he can try to recreate history. Against 2 players who are very low, this is another very winnable situation from Supernova. And this is the kind of round that I'm talking about, where it hasn't been all doom and gloom for Third Impact. Some of these rounds have been really close, really tense, but it's just been Third Impact running away with them. Now Ange has a real shot at this, considering he's gone up most of Graveyard uncontested, or most of Coffin unexpectedly. But AGM doesn't care about how quiet you move. He will just go ahead, peek out from the triple box, and make it a round number 13 for Third Impact. Talk about a one-sided affair. This has been sorted, to say the least. I mean, the game might be sorted, but this game might be sorted as well. I mean, 13-2. I've seen dominant halves, but at the very least, it's usually been something like, you know, 11-4, 12-3. But 13-2, that just gives you so, like, so little wiggle room that I just cannot see a comeback realistically happening. I mean, Supernova, they're the kind of team to never give up. I actually had a bit of an interview with Shoker previously in their last matchup versus, I can't remember who. I want to say it was Precision Esports, where they managed to come back from, I believe, a 12-3 deficit. That was on Nuke. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Comebacks can happen at all levels of Counter-Strike, but this just seems a bit too far-fetched against a team like Third Impact, who have been looking so good this season, despite a couple of hiccups. They're 9-3 for a reason, Third Impact, and they want to go ahead and improve that record to double digits if they can by the end of this game, which could be happening very soon. Welcome back to the game. Short halftime break done. My name's Ito if you're just joining me, and this is for ESEA Advanced Season 33, Third Impact versus Supernova. And again, Third Impact were the heavy overdogs heading into this game here. Supernova have a lot to prove in the second half here. And I'll start with a banana stack underway from the T side here. All in a nice little neat line. That means T Connors can be in for a nice field day of his own, but the Glocks reign supreme over at Banana. Now the T's will make a lot of noise pushing up, but won't choose a commit until that smoke plumes over towards the spawn itself. Now AGM, as alongside Dangerous, will have to hold down the site. AGM, a master class with pistols here, is what he always seems to show off. Bomb down from Supernova. Kills come through. Jojo, Dangerous, both picking up one apiece. And suddenly, it's flipped right back on its head here. It's a 1-on-3 for Ange. And what was looking so good for Supernova has completely faded away for them. Oh, a knife kill to close things out. Jojo, with a single point, just decides to pull out the old default knife and finish the job manually. It's a depressing way to close things out, 14-2. But Third Impact, this is kind of their bread and butter, really. This is their forte. Insanely dominant games like this. Again, not much wiggle room for Supernova. They have to really count on all their lucky stars to make a comeback of any sort happen. Even, trying to come within striking distance would be good. Even if he can only get double digits, I mean, that would be promising. It would at least show that you kept it competitive, But this is just a whitewash, no matter how you try to slice it. Still a 5-on-5, though, but not for long here. You see how Supernova have already eaten a healthy amount of damage. However, they will win the first frag. That's over T Connors, too. Not a player that I would expect to go down as early as that, but it's no matter. A quick push comes in from Supernova. Dangerous will be ready, trained on the angle yet again, but he's only good for one kill. AGM now tries to go in for seconds. He wants to try to double dip on these T's, but they will not move. Over at mid, Momo finds one onto a rotating Douglas. And this is actually beginning to look very promising now for Supernova here. First time I've been able to say that in quite a while. But the aggressive positions from Third Impact, a bit of a disjointed retake and no kit in play, makes it very, very optimal for Supernova here, as now it will be a 1 versus 4. AGM stuck in coffins with a FAMAS, and he would have to go into church to pray for a chance, and he isn't on his knees. 14-3. Supernova stay alive, if just barely. But that was a relatively convincing second round, I have to say. I mean, if they can keep up that kind of ante, maybe Supernova can make something out of this game. Still have a long way to go, to say the very least. 11 rounds, the difference. This should be another gimme for them. I mean, Third Impact, they're on an eco here. They haven't ever really been that convincing on ecos to me, to be honest, but maybe they're starting to prove me wrong. These Deagles, these crossfires with the Deagles are actually not too bad. They aren't able to find more than one kill so far, but had the chance to be pretty lethal. Momo, I mean, straight up switches a Galil for a Krieg, or a Krieg for a Galil, rather. Just because he's bleeding internally. Ange is not doing much better himself. 49 points of health, but the two healthy players will be trying to entry into the A bomb site here. Shoker lagging behind a little bit, but Shooterman is already in the front lines, ready to enter the fray at any given time. JoJo watches with a Desert Eagle here. One shot is all he needs to close things out onto Shooter Man here. He could find even more since two players are heavily tagged up, as I mentioned before here. Turning away from the flashbang, Momo tries to close the distance, but AGM is there to go ahead and be a nice crossfire. He'll find one. Oh, it's a second one for AGM. A master on the Deagles. He finds three to close it out. It's 15 for third impact. It's 15 for AGM and co. Unbelievable play from AGM. I said he was a master on the pistols, and this is exactly why. Completely demolishes Supernova. Incredible play from him as he's found kill number 20 in the game. You see how the kill differential isn't even that far spread between the members of Third Impact. That just shows that it's been a real team effort between thick and thin here. And oh man, AGM, don't do it to them. Dangerous makes one burn alive here. Shooter Man will get a kill in response here, but still, AGM lurks in the backline here. Although Shooter Man has had his time in the limelight here, AGM can always reign supreme with the Krieg, but he's going to hold his fire. Notice that the bomb is down towards the bottom of Banana right now. Although Dolphy will find the kill, he still needs to retrieve the bomb. He might not be ready for the sheer presence of AGM here. A kill goes away of Douglas. Now Dolphy rotates over. AGM gets the bomb down here. We're back into 2 versus 2. Shooter Man has to be dazed, confused on how he's been hit from the back line. Douglas now holds mid, and things are looking terrible for Supernova here. These flanks have been perfect from Third Impact here, plus they have the utility to show for it as well. Douglas gets one of the final nails in the coffin as Shooter Man will have to pull off an absolute miracle. 6 points of health, an absolute dream. He's going to seriously require so much luck to make this happen. I wouldn't be surprised if AGM just fires a bullet through smoke and wins the game like that. It feels like such an AGM move to do. And, well, there you have it. Through the dissipating smoke, the thoughts and hopes and dreams of Supernova all dissipate just like that. They go up in smoke. And that is one hell of a one-sided game if I've ever seen one. One of the few things Supernova have been very confident in is their ability to come back. This was not one of those examples. This was a one-sided affair. It's hard to say otherwise. Dolphy says, simply unlucky, LMFAO. It's unlucky. Yeah, you know what? Dolphy, that was a pretty sick 4K that you got on that pistol, but I think it was like a perfect example of like, sometimes things just weren't going your way, you know? That pistol 4K you got, sick as hell, but just, it wasn't enough, you feel? It really just be like that sometimes, said Dolphy, and how can I disagree? That is going to be it for me for tonight, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to watch Dolphy and JoJo hold hands while I make dinner. But thank you guys so much for watching. It was a lot of fun to bring you this cast, and there's going to be more where that came from. So I'll see you guys later, and if you guys enjoyed, please feel free to drop a follow or Twitch Prime if you're feeling really generous. Hana. Anyway, have a good one. We'll see you guys later. Later.